Hi guys, welcome back. This is Rakesh. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I am going to start what is directive. So, directive is the main important features in Angular framework. If I talk about the basic definition of directive, so directive is just a set instruction in DOM, right? That is called directive. You can easily specify DOM elements. You can easily add remove element in DOM with the help of a structural directive, attribute directive. That is called directive. So if I talk about how many types of directives, so there are three types of directive in Angular framework. First is component directive, second is structure, and third is attribute directive. Now let's move on. What is component directive? So component directive is a very simple directive. Now here you can see we have app.component.ts, right? Inside this file we have component decorator. Inside this component decorator we are passing three parameters. First is selector, second is template URL, and third is style URL. Now let's move on template URL. If I talk about template URL, which is all the template file like HTML file. Now let's move on HTML file. Inside this file, whenever I write something inside this file like HTML file, suppose that I will write here something like hello world, right? Whenever write here, whenever we will write inside this file, you can see on user interface there is the output. So this is a very basic concept. What is component directive? So let's move on. One thing here, component directive also used in main class, right? And whenever we will change inside this file, template file, then automatically will change inside document object model. That is called that is simple concept of component directive, right? So we have one documents in directive. So now here you can see the basic definition of directive. You can create a custom directive with the help of at ng generate directive and directive name you can easily create. Now let's move on. What is a structural directive and attribute directive? So if I talk about the main directive in Angular framework, so they are the main important directive. First is a structural directive and second is attribute directive. So a structural directive also start with asterisk symbol. You whenever we will use a structural directive, let's say the example of a structural directive here, ngIf, ng for, ng-switch, so they are the example of a structural directive, right? It is also used for structure of change structure of the DOM elements. That is called a structural directive. So I hope you are aware with control statements in any programming language like c c++ and let's say a TypeScript also. So that is same thing here. ngIf statements and for loop and ng switch. And let's move on attribute directive. So attribute directive also used to change the look and behavior of DOM elements. That is called attribute directive. You can also use ng class. You can also use ng style for change. You can easily change the color with dynamically with the help of ng style ng class. So directive is the main directive. It's a very large topic. We cannot complete in this video. So we will see only what is ngIf structural directive, right? We will only focus on this structural directive. Now let's move on real example of ngIf structural directive. So first of all I will create a one properties for structural ngIf directive. So in previous lecture we have already discussed how to create a component and component and header part and footer part. So let's move on. First of all, I will create a one properties for ngIf structural directive. So I will write here some properties name display image, right? Inside this display image, I hope you already know about ngIf condition also work on boolean data types. That means it will return something true or false. So I will set here boolean data types and write here false, right? And we have two image URL. First URL name is image URL and second is image1 URL, right? So I will save, and again this properties name I will use inside string interpolation. So first of all, I will create div elements, and inside this div elements I will use a image tag, and inside this image tag I will use a string interpolation and paste properties name, right? And I will save. Now here you can see image is not displaying. So behind this scene, image URL, right? Image, sorry, image URL, right? So I will use inside this src, I will use src URL properties like image properties, right? So again I will go inside user interface. Now here you can see the image is displaying. So suppose that I want to use inside this elements div element, I want to use a ngIf condition. So how to do it? So first of all, whenever we will use a structural directive, first of all we have to use a ng uh, asterisk symbol, and here I will write ngIf, and inside this ngIf I will write here this properties name display image, right? I will copy and paste inside these div elements, and again I will save. Now here you can see the image is not displaying. So behind this scene, whenever I will set inside a true value, it will return true. So image should display. Now here you can see image is displaying. So this is a very basic concept how to use ngIf structural directive. You can easily use for multiple conditions. Suppose that we have two images, so I want to use inside like you can use multiple condition because Angular provides ng template you can use for multiple condition. I will write inside this ng template, and we need to pass some reference for this condition. So I will write here else block. Inside this else block I will use inside else condition, right? And again I will use this properties name like image1 URL. So this is a very simple concept, don't confuse. It's a very simple thing how to use ngIf directive. And again I will save this file. Now here you can see image is displaying, first image is displaying. So behind this scene, first of all I will return here false value. Now here you can see image another image is displaying. So behind this scene whenever displaying here you can see, if display image will return true value, then it will display this image. When display image return false value, then it will return else block, like image1 URL. So this is a very simple concept how to use image, how to use if else, sorry, ngIf structural directive. So thank you so much guys. In next video we will see what is for loop, because directive is a very large topic. So we will cover in 4 tutorial 4 video. So in next video we will see ngFor, and after that we will see ngIf switch, right? So thank you so much, thanks watching this video, and please subscribe my channel. Thank you so much, thanks.